It's a new year, break's over. Let's get back to the map. Today, we're heading down to southwestern Kansas. We're going to talk about Stevens County, named after Thaddeus Stevens. Stevens was actually born with a physical deformity. He had a club foot, so when they portray him walking with a cane, he walked with a cane in real life. Also, his brother had 2 club feet, and then he had 2 younger brothers who were born without deformities. The belief in where he lived in Virginia at the time was that his father was being punished for some unknown sins, and that's why both of his sons were born with a club foot and club feet, respectively. Stevens is going to push for Pennsylvania to have a universal education system. He firmly believed that education should be available to everybody, regardless of color, regardless of social status, regardless of ability to pay. He wanted a universal education system in Pennsylvania. At that time, New England areas were the only ones who had a universal education system. He was fighting to get one in Pennsylvania, and he got it done. He's also going to join the anti-Mason party because he hated Andrew Jackson, and Andrew Jackson was a Mason, so he joined the party that hated Andrew Jackson. I sympathize. He's also going to join the Know Nothing Party for like a year, and then he's like, nah, I'm out of here. And then he joins the newly formed Republican Party. As a member of the newly formed Republican Party, he also is going to run for Congress and win his seat, and he's quickly going to become very powerful, being put on the Appropriations and Ways and Means Committee, which those are the people who come up with the money, which is like a very powerful position to be if you're a congressman. Stevens is a radical Republican. Well, what is a radical Republican? A radical Republican is someone who wants, without any hesitation or any compromise with the South whatsoever, to end slavery. The 2 most prominent radical Republicans in the pre-Civil War period are Charles Sumner and Thaddeus Stevens. At the outbreak of the Civil War, there are some in Congress who prefer compromise and trying to find common ground with the South. Stevens ain't one of those. Stevens is pushing Lincoln almost immediately at the start of the Civil War to use this as an excuse to end slavery in the South. And a lot of people weren't ready to push that position yet. He does push Lincoln to help get the Emancipation Proclamation written and passed, and helps pass the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery. After Lincoln's assassination, Andrew Johnson becomes president. Johnson was a friend of the South and tried to end Reconstruction. Thaddeus Stevens wasn't about that life. He is going to help Republicans win a large enough majority in Congress that they take control of Reconstruction, and it becomes known as Radical Reconstruction, where Thaddeus Stevens wants to punish the South for the Civil War. And in doing so, he wants to make sure that every African American that is in the South is going to have equal rights, be able to vote, and have full equality under the law and in society was his eventual goal. Unfortunately, Stevens' goal won't be met. Once Ulysses S. Grant leaves the White House, Reconstruction ends, and Jim Crow becomes the law of the South. But Thaddeus Stevens, probably one of my favorite congressmen, if nothing more than for being a smart aleck. So there we go. Stevens County. We got another one down. We're making progress. I'm eventually going to finish, I hope.